Mental illness is a critical issue in society. Statistics show that 1 in 5 individuals will meet criteria for an anxiety disorder in any given year. About 1 in 15 will meet criteria for major depression in any given year. Grab 5 people off the street, one of them probably has an anxiety disorder. And this data is actually prior to the current COVID pandemic. Now more than ever, it's critical that we explore and figure out new ways to treat mental illness and to help alleviate the suffering that it causes.
Please face to the detector frame. Normal temperature.
I've always been interested in investigating ever since I was a young kid. I was always asking questions to my parents. I'm sure it annoyed them to no extent. How does this work? Why does this happen? It's just always fascinated me to understand more about things, particularly things related to the natural world and science. My work is really focused on trying to improve treatments for individuals with affective disorders, which is a broad class of mental disorders that encompasses things like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The generous funds provided by One Mind are really focused on a new form of neuromodulation technology based on sound waves. I think a good metaphor is the brain is like a system of highways, we might say. We might think about information being the cars traveling across the highways. With tools like brain modulation, essentially what we're doing is we are injecting traffic into certain areas of the brain. When we're stimulating a brain area repeatedly, what that does is it actually changes the roadways. Hi, Shaylin.
Hi,
I'm Dr. Fonzo.
Nice to
Pleasure
meet
to meet you.
Yeah, it's great to put a face to the name and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. First thing we'll do is just have you sign in here
Okay.
and then get your temperature checked.
Oh, yeah. Having bipolar is like being on a roller coaster, especially one that you've never been on before. You don't know what's coming next. You're on the top of the world, and the next thing you know, you're spinning around and you're dropping out of the sky, and the world is upside down.
Feel free to have a seat.
I've been doing therapy and I've been on medications for my entire adult life. When I experience, those low feelings, it's completely debilitating where I can't get out of bed. I usually just end up scrolling through Netflix, most of the time not even watching anything. I take a lot of naps. It's difficult to bring myself to do anything at all. I've had depressive episodes that have gone on for, like a month or two. And then suddenly, all of the energy that I was missing comes flooding back. I'm up at 3 a.m. refinishing furniture because it just needed to be done right then. It's really difficult to find the right meds that work with you where the benefits outweigh all of the side effects that are commonly associated. So if there was any way to cut out some of that, I would definitely go for it. What are the next steps for today?
Basically, the study that we're going to be running today really has 2 parts. I'm very excited about this trial. The first part of it is utilizing this ultrasound technology, applying it to the brain in individuals with and without an affective disorder, while individuals are also undergoing neuroimaging, specifically something called functional magnetic resonance imaging, to observe the brain in real time and see how the ultrasound, when applied to the brain target, actually changes the function of the brain circuits.
This is a low-intensity focused ultrasound device. We can use a focused ultrasound to pierce through the brain structure without any kind of surgical intervention, using a focused ultrasound pulse. This is where the transducer is held. We place it up against the temporal bone. It's the thinnest part of the bone on your skull. You're going to get a set of scrubs.
The baseline targeting procedure. We essentially figure out where the placement of the ultrasound transducer on the head would be in order to ideally hit the area of the brain that we're going after. This area of the brain is called the amygdala, and it tends to be hyperactive in individuals with an affective disorder. The amygdala location can vary across people depending on the size of their brain, the shape of their skull. It can take a little bit of time to figure out the right placement. It's trial and error, primarily at this point.
Let's see if we can hit the placement on the first try, you think?
We're getting better. I'd say practice is definitely improving our ability to do this more quickly.
All right, and that's a brain. Excellent. All right, so let's see. There's the bullseye. So I think we need to move it down 3/4 of a centimeter, I'd say. I think we just have to go down like 1/2 centimeter.
I totally geek out when we get a clean shot of the amygdala. It's almost like playing a video game to some extent.
Third time's the charm, right?
Once you hit it, it feels really good to see that, get a little dopamine rush.
Perfect. We're right at 65 millimeters, right in the center of the left amygdala. That's the amygdala. We're dead on where we should be.
Cha-ching! So the next step, individuals with an affective disorder will have the opportunity to repeat this ultrasound procedure.
Hi, Shaylin.
Hi again.
Good to see you again.
They come back once a day for 5 days a week over the course of about 3 weeks.
Good to go.
For myself, the treatment is a brand new way to approach depression.
All right, and then I'll pull this up a little bit.
So it's like, let's get to where this actually comes from.
We'll go ahead and hit go on this, and it'll take about 10 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, excellent.
I would be happy with just being able to get to more of like a normal kind of day-to-day where I don't have those really low lows and I don't have the really high highs. Like that just sounded like a good place to start.
Ideally, you know, if we hit a home run and we do end up curing her of her depressive symptoms, that would be amazing. But I think the goal would be to understand more about the circuitry in the brain and how it responds to the ultrasound.
What I hope to see is that I can experience what typical people experience every day. So being able to kind of set down that burden, relax, and just be there in that present moment and enjoy it for what it is.
To receive the Rising Star Award, I One Mind, means a huge amount to me and the research that I'm pursuing. Utilizing state-of-the-art technology to a brain target that we know is critically important for these disorders and which we've not been able to reach before with existing methods. It's a golden opportunity to be able to break new ground. Hopefully, this will lead to developments in the area that will greatly and vastly improve our ability to treat mental illness.